Well, hello, everybody. It's your boy, Sam, again, aka the Train Mother Main. My railroad crossings and railroad crossings and railroad crossings. Ho, hee, ha, hoo, ha, hee, ha, hoo, wee, ha, hoo, ha, hee, hoo, ha, hee, hoo. Per usual, if you don't like my intro, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm very glad that you are here. So, a lot of people have been saying lately, especially in the Facebook groups, they can't handle my intro, they can't handle it. I don't know what to tell you, but if you like my modeling and my videos and can't handle the intro, that's the least of my worries. And if you don't watch my videos because of the intro, well, then you're missing out. So, again, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm glad you're here. I was going through some old videos, watching my old layouts, and just seeing how things have progressed. And I realized that as of February 14th, today's February 4th, so in 10 short days, it'll be the 1-year anniversary of the current layout. So I've done a lot of measurements and blueprint drawing on some graph paper over the past 2-3 weeks. I've been wanting to expand again and just fill out the rest of this space. And I've settled on a benchwork design, and I got a pretty dang close track plan. The way this layout is set up, if you've watched from day one, the first iteration was just the back section, and then I added the peninsula earlier 2022, and then a week later after that, I'm like, let me just expand it out to here too. I should have just done like this over here back then, but I'm like, let me just not bite off more than I can chew. We're talking almost a year later, I've chewed a lot. And this will be the final expansion. There's really nowhere else I can go. I mean, there's nowhere else to go. I got a hallway, doorway here. I'm not going to have a bridge or anything over there. And it's identical over here. I'm not going to go over here. So I did have to take down my display shelf for all my old marks and other old train collectibles that I like to display. Put it back here. Moved around my workbench and area. I got all my tools and paints and all my other stuff's in the cabinets and in the dresser. I've got plenty of storage down here. As you can see, it's very nice and tidy. I did just move everything, but I keep it this way anyway. And now I have this entire space to expand it. I'm going to buy lumber and all of that this afternoon. I'm going to buy obviously more than I need anyway because I'll have extra when I cut. I'm just not sure how far I want to come out. I'm kind of just leaning to going towards 2.5 feet. Happy medium, I guess, call it. So 2 feet, 3 feet on the inside. So 2 feet right here, 3 feet right here. If I just call it 2.5, my plan is to have it run a whole nother addition to the main line, another loop. So have a switch come off here, have a continuous loop going all the way around, and then I'll cut in another switch back here. I ripped up some foam and work I'd already have put in because obviously I'm going to need to throw a turnout in here. So I'll re-sculpt and mold that. This was pink foam I put in here, and I'm not happy with how I did it because I rushed it. So I was going to redo it anyway with sculpt and mold, so it was perfect time to just do it. This I'm leaving, but I want these to be more broad. They were kind of like cliffy, and this is more just like rolling. So essentially, the same thing I did with the peninsula. Prior to, it was just the main line and the branch line, and I just added a switch off the main and added a whole big 6 foot by 4 foot loop. So again, the original layout just went straight here, and then I added the peninsula, and you could still run straight through on the main line, or you could take the main line, branch line, I don't know what the heck it would be, it's still part of the main, all the way back around. So I'm going to do the same idea as here, over there, just another big loop, extend the main run. Now, the main reason why I want to do this is to just have a yard, and not like a big bustling yard. I already have my diesel facility over there because this is a short line with just a handful of locomotives. Over here we have the kind of little town industrial area, and there is a small yard over here, but it just does not hold enough cars. It's good for switching out these industries and to build a little train. I'm more than happy with it, but I also have my coal mine scene and my lumber mill scene, and in order to build trains and just have more storage on the layout without having every industry packed full of cars, including this yard packed full of cars at all times. It's not frustrating, but it's definitely a luxury to have more trackage. So even though this is kind of a yard, this yard only exists for the purpose of serving these industries. I would like to have a big yard, classification yard of some sort, just for the sake of building trains. So it's a nice big space to work with. I already have extra fascia and corner pieces. I need to buy 1x3s to construct it. I have extra shelf brackets. So literally I'm going to run to Home Depot this afternoon. I'm going to buy the pink foam I need and the bench work I need, come home and build it, and try and get this all on the wall tonight. All right, well, we're back a couple hours and a couple dollars later. As I said, I got all the corner bracing and fascia that I need. I bought the foam I need, the rest of the lumber that I need, what I didn't have anyway, shelf brackets ready, tools ready. The new area is prepped, so it's time to start measuring and cutting, and we'll go from there. I don't think I'm going to video or time-lapse building the bench work because you've seen me build bench work. It's common knowledge how to construct this kind of stuff. If you want to actually see me build bench work, watch like the first couple of videos in each of my previous 3 or 4 layout builds, and you can see how I build my bench work. So, well, we're back, and I don't think you needed to see an hour and a half time lapse down into 15 or 30 seconds or 2 little mini time lapses. But yep, here we go. So I'm already thinking to myself, there's got to be something wrong with me. The amount of time and money and effort I spend on the past layouts and on all my rolling stock and locomotives, and then the actual time spent building them, then tearing them down, then selling them, then building them again. Now I've been working on this layout for a solid year, a full year next week, and I'm still not satisfied. I wanted more, so I built more. Maybe I'm just a lunatic, or maybe I just really love my hobby. Got the foam cut enough to overlap the bench work, letting the glue dry, and then tomorrow I'll saw it to completion, and then I'll put my fascia on from there. I wanted to put the fascia and corner braces and get the entire bench work done tonight, but I'd rather just let the foam dry completely, get a nice clean shaved edge, and then just cut. I'm gonna need 2 pieces of fascia and then 2 corner mounts. So I decided to go a little bigger than I originally said I was going to. I came out, instead of just 6 feet, I came out, it's like 6 foot 5 inches, I want to say. And then I just came out a full 3 feet. I figured if I'm going to make the space, might as well use as much as possible. So I didn't really measure this opening, but I mean, I'm doing 360s in it right now without touching anything. So it's definitely enough room for a nice, massive yard, probably bigger than I was even thinking I was going to make. Nice big turn, gradual. The 2-foot turns over here are pretty tight, about as tight as I could go without derailing, like triple axle locomotives and rolling stock. So this is going to be nice gradual swooping, and then a nice run back into the main line over here. Whether I conceal the line back here so it's not a loop-de-loop, I might just put like some rolling sculpt mold hills and kind of hide it, whatever. I'm not really sure yet. I just know definitely a big yard right here, maybe an industry or 2 or something or other, and then we'll have it get back there somehow. I'm not really too concerned about it. By tomorrow, early afternoon, the bench work will be done, and we can move forward from there. So call me crazy, call me insane, but yeah, Daddy expanded again. Well, we're back. It is Sunday, early afternoon. I got the bench work up, got the foam down, and I'm in the process right now of getting the fascia cut. So I jumped the gun a little bit and didn't do proper planning. I just didn't think about it until I went to lay down last night. And there's a reason why I made the original layout 2 feet deep and why I only made this section 18 inches deep. This was originally, it still does come out 6 foot 4 or 5 inches, and originally was 3 feet wide on the planning stage. It was also 3 feet wide when I went to bed last night, or 2 minutes ago in the video that you saw. 3 feet wide is too wide for me to be able to reach across and touch every single square inch of the bench work. That's a huge problem. That means with 3 feet wide back here, and then also having to reach back over here, there's a broom in my way, so I can actually, but I couldn't reach the far reaches of this layout. It only came up to about here, maybe a little bit further back. So I would literally have to be up on a stool just to get back here, and then another 8 inches out this way. I could not reach back there, couldn't get back there. So what I did when I woke up this morning was I had to pop the foam off, which was fine. It's just white glue. And then dismount the entire table that I built the benchwork, take the entire benchwork apart, and I chopped about 7.5 inches off. So it's just under 2.5 feet wide now. It's like 2'5" 3/4. But again, I can reach every single, you're seeing me reach every single spot of the layout. Even the farthest reach back to this corner, there's stuff in the way here, but I can reach all the way past this fascia. And if I needed to get right back there, I just get up on the stool anyway, because I can't actually reach all the way back behind for the mainline run. It's also nicer too, because with the extra 6-7 inches, it was a little bit crammed in there. I could still move around without touching either side, but it just feels a little more open now. So definitely changes, but glad I did it now. In doing that, like I said, I had to dismount it, take the foam off, unscrew every screw, and then cut the wood, put it all back together, re-glue the foam, and then start the fascia. Problem is I had pre-cut this fascia for when it was 3 feet. So now I just had fascia coming out to like here, one big piece. So now I have to cut a third piece of fascia. So luckily I have enough masonite left over. This piece is already mounted. Got to cut this piece, got to cut this piece. And then I'm going to cut the corner trims and stain them out in the garage, let them dry for a day or two, get the smell out. Then I can glue those in and the benchwork will be complete. I'll probably honestly just paint the entire top of this brown now, because I'm going to end up doing it anyway. Might as well do it before any track or stuff goes down. So give me some time. Going to cut these pieces of fascia, get that all stained up, and then I'll check back in here in a bit. But just part of the process. Checking back in again. So I got the fascia complete. Always just leave a little bit of a tiny gap here for the crown pieces to go on so it fits instead of sticks out. Measured, cut perfectly. Glad I saved all my extra fascia pieces. I had a bunch of extra lumber too for the benchwork that helped, so I didn't have to buy as much as I measured out. I measured out what I needed on graph paper, made like a materials list, and then before I actually went to Home Depot, I have all my extra hardboard, bunch of 8-foot strips down here, a bunch of extra pieces of wood, another crap back there, foam. So point being is save your scraps. You never know if you're going to need them. But yeah, so it saved me probably at least 15 to 20 bucks. Actually probably more, because a 4x8 sheet of masonite would have been at least probably 20 itself, plus having to cut it and then blah, blah, blah. So definitely nice to save the materials. Got the fascia work back in over here. I got the corner braces stained. They're in the garage right now drying. Probably put those on tomorrow, let them air out for the night. And foam's all in, nice and clean. So, I might be insane, but here we go again. So for like the 30th time, at this point, how many times have I said this in this video? At least probably 7 or 8, I don't know. I haven't edited it yet, but it's about 6.5 feet by about 2.5 feet. And if you take the big gander back, I've used up the entire space for my layout now, which is kind of a good feeling knowing there's really nowhere else to expand. Again, I've probably mentioned it, but I'm not coming past this doorway. From here over is all like man cave fishing stuff. I got plenty of space to put up more fishing stuff over time, so I don't want to ruin that motif. Over here, same thing. Get the doorway and then it starts fishing. So the whole fishing outdoor area, we go antiquing, we buy stuff, I find things I like, and it's, becoming more and more Applebee's month after month. But the train main area when I moved in was started in that corner with the first layout ever on the channel, and then I built the mega layout in the center, and then the L-shaped weirdo layout that was my previous layout, and now I've taken up the whole space. There is nowhere else to go. It's perfect. The back wall, the only legs, the entire space is filled up. So nice and clean and fresh looking. I could have done all this in like 4 straight hours, but I took my time. And like I said, I probably spent an extra hour dismantling and cutting off that extra 6-7 inches. And I'm very glad I did now that the fascia's up and whatnot. I have plenty of room. I can reach all the way and then some across the layout without issues. That'll make my life easier over here. And it's just not as imposing. I mean, even where I'm standing now, it's hard for you to get perspective, but where I'm standing, having it come out an extra, you know, it came out really far. And that's without the fascia, which kind of like fills it out even more. So my track plan, loosely based, is big yard, at least 4 or 5 tracks. I spent way too much money on Pico switches last night. They should be here sometime this week. When I know that they are going to arrive, I'll hit the hobby shop and buy a ton of, way too much money's worth, of Atlas Code 80 Flex, and I'll start working it in. But big yard right here, maybe an industry or two, and it's another extension of the loop. So we're going to cut into the main over there. You can see how big this is, even when I'm pointing. Wow. Cut into the main over there, cut into the main over here, make a big loop. So the main line now is pretty long. And then yard, industries, maybe just like a rolling-y kind of hill, and then have the main line go back that way. Probably nothing very interesting back here. Maybe a little tunnel in the center again. I'm not sure. We'll get to that later. But the yard first, and we'll go from there. What I'll probably do first off is cut in my switch right here, and then cut in the switch over here, and just get a loop going. So I did some quick math just to get a square footage of the overall layout, and I'll give you a quick rundown. The first leg over there is 1.5 feet roughly by 8 foot, so it's about 12 square feet. The peninsula is 6 foot by 4 foot, so about 24 square feet. The original section along the back is about 16 and change feet by 2 feet, so that's about 32 square feet. And then the new section is just over 6.5 feet by 2.5 feet. So it's 16 new square feet and some change. So roughly overall, the entire layout went from about 64 square feet-ish to now about 84 square feet-ish. So I added another 25% of the layout size. All very roughly, a 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch there. But yeah, 84 square feet. So coming at you live again, painted the entire base brown. Just waiting for those corner braces to dry. Like I said, I'll probably get to that tomorrow. So this video will take part over 3 days, I suppose. Worked for like 2 hours last night, probably 2 to 3 hours today, just doing odds and ends. And then we'll brace it tomorrow and give you a final finished shot. So definitely worthwhile. Definitely nice to take your time and know what you want. I knew what I wanted. I have a track plan like 90% of the way, which is as good as it's going to get way there until you lay it down. Track planning, you're always going to know what you want, then lay it down and figure out a little tweaking. I had my bench work. I drew out 4 different sizes, everywhere from 1 foot wide, 6 feet, 2 feet wide, 6 feet, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. And I decided on the 3 foot, built it, and chopped it down anyway. So take your time. Do your proper planning. That's why this layout is as functional and nice as it is, because I didn't rush or do anything. So yeah, just, no reason to get ahead of yourself, no reason to stress yourself out. Just take your good old time, and your layout's never going to be finished anyway. I still have a ton of work to do on the mine section and over here and over here and over here and here. And I'm like, well, I want more anyway. So on top of the weeks and weeks of crap I have left to do, I just added even more. So name of the game is take your time, clean up after yourself, and enjoy yourself. So I'll get those braces on here tomorrow, and we'll wrap this up. Well, as promised, we are back. I got my corner braces on, and this bench work is complete. Paint's all dry. Corner braces are on in both sections. Like I said, I painted this brown last night, so that's one less thing I have to do. One thing I always have to do, because I'm terrible at cutting foam on every single piece of this layout and every single layout in the past, I never get a clean cut. So I just usually take some Sculptamold and fill these in, flush with the fascia, and it takes 5 minutes and is no big deal. Then I can paint that. But other than that, this is ready to be layouted. I stopped at the hobby shop on the way home tonight. I do like to buy as much as humanly possible as far as materials from my local hobby shops. There's 2 of them that are still left that are considered local, within about 25 minutes in either direction. So if they have what I need, I'll buy whatever I can, and anything else I'll just get online. So I was able to buy a way too much money's worth of Code 80 Flex tonight. So I'm already starting to make my track plan come to life. My turnouts and whatnot should be here tomorrow or Wednesday. So look for a layout update here in the next week or so. I guess the next video probably will actually be next week. Yeah, the 1 year anniversary of the layout. But I'll go over everything in detail then. But this is where the layout stands as of now. Huge. Very happy with putting this all together and nowhere else really to go. So tips or tricks, Tony Hawk style. If you like what you see or don't like or have criticism or see something I do that you do better or want to know how I do something, ask or tell me or whatever. If you see this post on Facebook, add me as a friend. If you have layouts you want me to check out, go ahead, all that. Let's connect. So I appreciate everybody being members of this channel and the support and encouragement and even the criticism. So hope to see you all soon. You'll hear from me again soon. And Train Maine, out.